You got to hear this one. Also very interesting how the media portrayed how Blake Lively showed up at the World Cup after being snubbed from Taylor Swift's wedding. It's no longer about Justin Baldoni and the controversies around that. It's all about the humiliation of being dumped by Taylor.
Blake Lively probably expected her appearance at the FIFA World Cup final to generate headlines. After all, it was one of the biggest sporting events of the year, packed with celebrities, athletes, and public figures from around the world. But within hours, people weren't talking about the match. Instead, social media was flooded with questions about Blake herself. Why wasn't Ryan Reynolds with her? Who were the women sitting beside her? And why did so many entertainment outlets suddenly start talking about Taylor Swift instead of Justin Baldoni? It wasn't just one headline that caught people's attention. It was the combination of all of them. Some outlets focused on reports that Blake FaceTimed Ryan Reynolds during the match.
Blake and Ryan are still trying to plan stories to convince us that they're still a couple going strong. They miss each other so much that they have to FaceTime, that Blake had to FaceTime Ryan during the World Cup.
Others highlighted that she attended the event just weeks after reports that she hadn't been part of Taylor Swift's wedding celebrations. Then, fans began identifying the friends who accompanied her, opening up an entirely different conversation that quickly spread across social media. Suddenly, what looked like a simple celebrity appearance had turned into another Hollywood talking point. And what's especially interesting is how quickly the media narrative seemed to shift. For months, nearly every Blake Lively headline centered on the ongoing legal dispute involving Justin Baldoni. This time, however, many of the biggest stories focused somewhere else entirely: her friendships, her public image, and the people she was spending time with. Many fans pointed out that the conversation had moved beyond the courtroom and into Blake's personal relationships, with Taylor Swift's name appearing in headline after headline, despite not attending the event herself. So, what actually happened at the World Cup final? And why did one public appearance generate so much discussion? It starts with the event itself. Blake arrived at MetLife Stadium to watch the championship match, joining thousands of fans and a long list of celebrities in attendance. Photos from the event quickly appeared across entertainment websites, showing her enjoying the game alongside several friends. At first, everything seemed fairly routine. But as those photos spread online, people started paying closer attention to the details. One question appeared almost immediately: where was Ryan Reynolds? Considering Ryan's well-known love of soccer through his ownership of Wrexham AFC, many people expected him to be sitting right beside Blake for one of the sport's biggest events. Instead, he was nowhere to be seen. That single detail quickly became one of the biggest talking points surrounding Blake's appearance, and before long, another report added even more attention to the story. It didn't take long for Ryan Reynolds' absence to become one of the biggest talking points surrounding Blake's appearance. Considering Ryan's well-known passion for soccer through his ownership of Wrexham AFC, many fans expected him to be sitting beside Blake for one of the sport's biggest events. Instead, Blake attended with friends, leaving people wondering why Ryan wasn't there. Then, another headline appeared. Page 6 reported that Blake was seen FaceTiming Ryan from the stadium during the match. The story quickly spread across entertainment websites, with several outlets presenting it as a sweet moment between the couple despite Ryan not attending the game in person. That report immediately sparked another wave of discussion online. Some people saw it as a perfectly normal interaction between a married couple, while others questioned why that specific detail became a headline at all. The conversation wasn't really about the FaceTime call itself, it was about how much attention it received. At the same time, another trend started becoming impossible to ignore.
Who bought this ticket worth probably $100,000, who had the view of Blake Lively, would call the New York Post and say, "Hello, I just want to I have a tip here. Blake Lively FaceTimed Ryan during the game." And she also spoke to Sam Smith. Why would anyone spend time leaking that to the press? Except if you are Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds, who wants to convince the world that Blake still talks to other celebrities and they don't mind being seen with her.
Many articles covering Blake's appearance didn't just focus on the World Cup. They also referenced recent reports surrounding Taylor Swift. Several headlines pointed out that Blake's appearance came shortly after widespread discussion about Taylor's wedding guest list, where Blake was reportedly absent. That was a noticeable change in the way the story was being covered. Only weeks earlier, most headlines involving Blake centered on the legal dispute connected to "It Ends With Us." Now, many entertainment outlets were talking about her friendships instead. Justin Baldoni's name appeared less often, while Taylor Swift's name suddenly became part of almost every article discussing Blake's public appearance. Whether that shift simply reflected public interest or represented a new direction in the coverage, it changed the conversation. The focus wasn't on the football match anymore, it was on Blake's relationships and the people she was spending time with. But then, fans noticed another detail that quickly became one of the biggest talking points of all. Social media users began identifying the women sitting beside Blake at the match.
These two girls that Blake Lively brought with her to the World Cup finals this weekend. As I mentioned yesterday, these sisters are the founders of Stony Clover Lane, who most people associate with the friendship bracelets that were sold during Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Now it turns out that this story is a little more complicated than what I thought at first.
Once their identities became known, the conversation took another unexpected turn, and it had everything to do with a brand that many Taylor Swift fans already knew very well. The women sitting beside Blake were soon identified as Kendall and Libby Glazer, the founders of Stony Clover Lane, a lifestyle brand that's become especially well known over the past few years. On its own, that probably wouldn't have attracted much attention. But many Taylor Swift fans immediately recognized the name for a different reason. During the Eras tour, Stony Clover Lane became widely associated with the friendship bracelet trend that exploded among Swifties. Their colorful accessories and custom patches appeared across social media, and many fans connected the brand with the massive popularity surrounding Taylor's concerts. Because of that, it didn't take long for people online to start revisiting the brand's history after seeing the founders sitting with Blake. As internet users looked into the company, another topic quickly resurfaced. Some fans pointed out that Stony Clover Lane had previously offered products inspired by Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour. Others noticed those items no longer appeared on the company's website, leading to a fresh round of online discussion about what may have changed over time. That naturally led people to another subject Taylor Swift has been known for over the years: protecting her intellectual property. Public records and past reporting show that Taylor's team has regularly enforced her trademarks, with businesses and online sellers occasionally receiving legal notices involving the unauthorized use of her name, lyrics, or branding. Because of that history, some fans wondered whether there could be a connection between those earlier reports and the changes they noticed at Stony Clover Lane. No public explanation has been given by the company about why specific Taylor-inspired products are no longer available, and the reason for those changes hasn't been confirmed. Even so, the timing and the brand's previous association with Taylor quickly became another topic of conversation online. What made the story even more interesting wasn't simply who Blake attended the match with, it was the timing. Her appearance came while reports about her friendship with Taylor Swift were already dominating entertainment headlines. So, when fans saw Blake spending time with people many associated with Taylor's orbit, it immediately fueled another wave of discussion across social media. Whether that connection was meaningful or simply another coincidence, one thing was clear: Blake's FIFA appearance had turned into something much bigger than a celebrity attending a football match. Every photo, every headline, and every detail was now being examined far more closely than anyone probably expected. As the discussion continued, something else became impossible to ignore. Many of the headlines about Blake's FIFA appearance weren't really about football at all. Instead, they kept bringing Taylor Swift back into the conversation. Several entertainment outlets reminded readers that Blake's appearance came not long after reports surrounding Taylor's wedding guest list, with stories noting that Blake wasn't among those reportedly in attendance. That meant what started as coverage of a sporting event quickly turned into another discussion about the status of one of Hollywood's most talked about friendships. The shift was interesting because, for months, Blake's headlines had been dominated by the legal dispute involving Justin Baldoni. Now, the conversation had moved somewhere completely different. Rather than focusing on court filings or legal developments, entertainment coverage was increasingly centered on friendships, public appearances, and who was or wasn't being seen together. Social media amplified that change even further. Fans began comparing older photos of Blake and Taylor with more recent headlines, trying to piece together how their friendship may have evolved over the past year. Others argued that people were simply reading too much into isolated public appearances. Regardless of where people stood, the topic continued trending across entertainment pages. Another detail also caught people's attention. Blake later shared photos from the event on social media, including pictures with the friends who attended the match alongside her. Those posts generated thousands of comments, with much of the discussion focusing less on the football game itself and more on who appeared in the photos. That's become a pattern in recent months. Whether Blake attends a movie premiere, a sporting event, or another public gathering, the conversation often extends far beyond the event itself. Viewers aren't just looking at where she goes, they're paying attention to who's with her, who's absent, and how those appearances fit into the larger story that's been unfolding in the public eye. And that's exactly what happened after the FIFA final. What began as a celebrity appearance quickly evolved into another internet investigation, with people examining everything from friendships and social media posts to past business connections. By the time the discussion settled down, the football match had almost become a footnote. Instead, the spotlight was once again on Blake Lively and what her latest public appearance might say about the bigger picture. The FIFA final also highlighted something much bigger than one celebrity appearance. It showed just how closely Blake Lively's every public move is being watched. A few years ago, photos from an event like this probably would have generated a handful of fashion articles and celebrity snapshots. Today, they're being analyzed from every possible angle. Who's standing next to her? Who isn't there? Which celebrities interacted with her? What photos were shared afterward? Every detail quickly becomes part of a much larger conversation. That's exactly what happened here. Within hours, fans had identified the people sitting with Blake, compared photos from previous public appearances, revisited older headlines, and even looked back at past business connections involving the friends she attended with. Whether those connections ultimately mean anything is something people continue debating, but it shows how quickly online discussions can grow once a story gains momentum. At the same time, Blake and Ryan Reynolds remain two of Hollywood's most recognizable celebrities. Because of that, nearly every public appearance generates attention on its own. Add months of headlines surrounding "It Ends With Us" and the legal dispute involving Justin Baldoni, and that attention becomes even more intense. One appearance leads to another headline. That headline leads to another round of social media discussion. Then, entertainment outlets begin covering the online reactions themselves, creating a cycle that often keeps the story in the spotlight long after the event is over. That's exactly what happened after the World Cup final. The conversation started with football. Then it shifted to Ryan Reynolds. After that, it moved to Taylor Swift. Then people began discussing Stony Clover Lane, old Eras Tour merchandise, and Blake's recent public appearances. Before long, what should have been a simple celebrity sighting had turned into several different stories, unfolding at the same time. Whether that's fair or simply part of being one of Hollywood's biggest stars is something viewers continue to debate. But one thing is becoming increasingly clear. Blake's public appearances are no longer viewed in isolation. They're being interpreted as part of a much larger narrative that's been developing for months. And as more headlines continue to appear, many people are beginning to ask an even bigger question. Is this level of scrutiny eventually going to fade? Or has Blake Lively entered a stage where every public appearance will continue generating headlines, regardless of the event itself? When you step back and look at everything together, it's easier to understand why Blake's appearance at the FIFA World Cup generated so many headlines. On the surface, it was simply another celebrity attending one of the biggest sporting events in the world. But because of everything that's happened over the past year, people weren't just watching the match, they were watching Blake. A photo with friends became a discussion about Taylor Swift. Ryan Reynolds not attending became a headline of its own. The people sitting beside Blake were identified within hours, leading to renewed conversations about Stony Clover Lane and its previous connection to the Eras Tour. Before long, entertainment outlets, social media pages, and fans were all discussing different pieces of the same story. Whether any of those moments are connected is something people continue debating. What isn't really up for debate is how much public interest still surrounds Blake Lively. Even appearances that would normally pass without much attention now generate days of discussion, with fans examining every detail and every new headline. That level of scrutiny isn't unique to Blake. Many high-profile celebrities experience the same thing after becoming part of a major public controversy. Public appearances begin carrying extra meaning, whether intended or not, and even routine moments can quickly become part of a much larger conversation. For now, the FIFA final has become another chapter in that story. It wasn't the football match that dominated entertainment headlines afterward. It was Blake Lively, who she attended with, who wasn't there, and why those details captured so much attention across Hollywood and social media. Only time will tell whether that level of attention eventually fades. But for now, it seems every public appearance adds another piece to an ongoing story that continues evolving with each new headline. And that's everything for today's update. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you believe Blake's FIFA appearance was simply another celebrity outing that people overanalyzed? Or do you think the reaction reflects how closely she's being watched right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future Hollywood updates. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.